joined us today for the Extension Hour. We are here today with some of our 4-H members in Montgomery County. I'm Michelle Mihalek. I'm the County Extension Agent for the 4-H program here in Montgomery County. And we have some of our 4-Hers joining us today, and they're going to tell us a little bit about themselves and about their activities in the 4-H program. And we'll have Gabby start. Tell us about how long you've been in 4-H and some of your experiences.
Well, like they said, my name is Gabby. I've been in 4-H for 4 years. I am 16 years old, and my main project is leadership, and my secondary project is the GOAT project. For leadership, I am the first vice for Montgomery County 4-H Council. I am also I was an officer in my club for a couple of years. And for my GOAT project, I just kind of show around in some of the progress shows around here and at our county fair.
And Sierra?
Hi, I'm Sierra Reynolds, and I have been in 4-H since I was 3.5 for Pee Wee, and my main project is swine, and my second is leadership. I am the president of Champion 4-H, and I show everywhere for swine.
And Abby.
Hi, I'm Abby LeBlanc. I've been in 4-H for 6 years. I consider my main project to be poultry with chickens and turkeys, and then swine to be my secondary. I show pretty much everywhere with my chickens, and I'm just trying to show at more shows with my pigs.
And we're talking about projects in the 4-H program. A project is just a tool that's used to teach 4-H members life skills, and it translates into a subject matter, what topic or what area they're interested in learning about. So they've told us what their main projects are and what they focused on the most. If you'll tell us a little bit about some of the different activities that you've done in your main project in a little more detail, and I'll let Gabby start with that.
All right, so for my leadership, I have done a lot of leadership camps, such as Leadership Lab, which is in Galveston, where they just kind of teach us a lot of just like leadership activities, how to act well with others, and just like teamwork, team building activities. I also went to Leadership Institute with a friend of mine, which really just went in depth a lot more with that. It just kind of taught us how to really promote ourselves, or promote 4-H and ourselves well on social media and on other platforms. It taught us just how to talk well in front of others, how to just gather our thoughts out of the blue. It also just showed us how to have like an everyday conversation with someone if they ask like what 4-H is, and just kind of explain that a lot like better. I have also done the leadership colleges here in the county, which is just for our county 4-H clubs. I have been to those for 4 years, and this past year, since it was my first year on county council, I was able to be one of the leaders of that, and it was such a great experience. We really just focused on uniting the clubs a little bit better with the leadership aspect of it, and we just kind of taught them some icebreaker games to kind of get some of the flow going. We also had some workshops for the parents to go and listen to, which were just focused on some of the main questions that lots of parents have about 4-H.
Thank you. Sierra, I know you mentioned one of your main projects is the swine project.
Yes.
You want to tell us some of the activities and some of the learning kinds of experiences you've had in working with that project?
Well, for swine, a lot of the activities are mostly like going out of the state or just showing in your county for jackpots and major shows. So for swine, I go to all the major shows, and I just represent for my county and my district as just being able to talk to people more about the industry of swine and why we do it. And I am also a TJLA junior director and a livestock ambassador for Texas, and I am able to go around and talk more about the industry of swine and agriculture for our state, and be able to just expand the learning of people that might not understand or just want to know more of why we do what we do, and just expand other people's learning.
And Abby?
I show chickens pretty much everywhere, all over the state. I love chickens. I love that they're 6 weeks, but they're very intense. The hardest part about having chickens is going out to my garage where I keep them and checking on them every hour and make sure that they're getting up, they're eating, they're not too cold or too hot, and that they move around and every single one of them is not sick. You have to listen to their breathing. It's a lot. But shows are fun because they're really intense, because the judge never has like the same order where they place you. He places you in different spots. So it's kind of hard seeing like what place you're going to get, and you learn not to get your hopes up.
And Abby, you want to go right on into the other projects that you do? What other activities you do in the 4-H program?
I do swine also, just like Sierra. Probably not as much, but I do like showing pigs. They're pretty much like dogs to me. I love pigs. I also do turkeys. It's my second year showing turkeys, and I'm trying to learn more about them, trying to go online, email people at A&M, and figure out more about them and what's a good way to raise them, different feed plans. And I also do community service. I do a lot of community service, always going and helping out people, making stuff for the needy and giving them things. It makes me feel better seeing that I'm helping other people out.
Okay. Thank you. And Sierra, what other projects have you been doing in 4-H?
My main goal right now for other projects is Project Linus, and for those of you who don't know what that is, it's a blanket service for kids in need that just need that extra comfort. So anyone that knows of Charlie Brown and you have that kid named Linus and he's always carrying a blanket, it's a comfort thing. So those of you who are interested in just making a blanket and just wanting to help those kids that need the comfort, that need something to hold on to in some hard times, just get some blankets and carry them to your nearest extension agents, or just contact me, and there's a website for Project Linus. Just type that in and we will definitely keep in contact with you. And I do a lot of leadership for community service and just going and doing speeches around places and expanding people's knowledge in showmanship and just the knowledge you learn from livestock and stuff.
And Gabby, what are some of the other projects that you participate in?
Well, like I said earlier, my secondary project is the goat project, but I also do community service a lot. And one of the cool things about 4-H and how it works is that just because you're a part of one project doesn't mean that that project only stays within its boundaries. One of the cool things about it is that you can be doing one project and it still like be considered another project, if that makes sense. So like you can like overlap projects and it still work for both of them. So I show goats, and this year I'm putting together a goat clinic, which could also count as a leadership project. So it's going to be a countywide goat project, or goat clinic, that I'm going to be planning soon. And it's just going to be open to all 4-H members in the county, beginner or advanced, that just kind of want to learn how to show a goat or just need a little refresher. I also do community service a lot, and I also do a lot of it through my leadership project of county council. So I am able to go to different festivals and events throughout the county and represent county council while also serving others. So that's one of the amazing things and aspects of 4-H, is that it's not just one little project you have to do. It kind of expands into all the other ones.
All right. So the 4-H's are Head, Heart, Hands, and Health. And the Hands is the service that we do for our community. So Gabby, do you want to start with what kinds of community service When we come back from our commercial presentation, we'll start looking at our community service activities.
You are listening to the Extension Hour on irlonestar.com.
If you are looking to start a career, you can start your professional life in the U.S. Army. I am Staff Sergeant Stephen Jackson. My fellow soldiers and I can talk with you about learning high-tech skills in electronics and computers as a soldier. Interested in the medical field? The Army has skilled medical and dental jobs that set you up for future success. Come visit us at 2109 West Davis Street, directly behind the Whataburger on Highway 105, or give us a call at 936-756-7002.
Hey, this is Cindy Cochran, and now Conroe can boast of another first. The first morning live talk show, 10 to 11 a.m. Monday through Friday, right here on Lone Star Internet Radio, coming straight out of the fabulous downtown Conroe, Texas. Be the coolest guy at the water cooler, or the most informed break room dweller by listening to the fun side of the news, local, national, infinity, and beyond. The Cindy Cochran Show. You ain't heard nothing yet.
At Jazzy Junk, volunteers reclaim, restore, and recycle. Jazzy Junk is a non-profit resale storefront where you will discover wonderful, unique finds at very affordable prices on furniture, antiques, books, art, home decor, and more. When you shop Jazzy Junk, you support New Danville, a community for adults with developmental disabilities. We receive new donations daily, so plan a visit to Jazzy Junk today to find that perfect item or gift. Our motto is here today, gone today. So remember to hurry in and shop often for the best selection. Jazzy Junk is located in the outlets at Conroe on League Line Road and I-45 North. Call 936-441-4500 or visit our website, jazzyjunk.org. That's JUNQUE for more information and store hours.
You're listening to the Extension Hour with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. Visit us online at montgomery.agrilife.org.
And welcome back to the Extension Hour. We are here today with 4-H members Gabby Pena, Sierra Reynolds, and Abby LeBlanc, and they're sharing with us their 4-H experiences. As we went into the commercial break, we were just moving into community service projects. So Gabby's going to start and visit with us about what kinds of service she's been doing for the community.
So some of the projects that I've done with community service with the club and the county, we'll start with the club. My club has an adopt-a-spot at Cut and Shoot City Hall, and what we do is we just go there 2 times a year in the spring and in the fall and just kind of clean out the flower beds, plant new flowers, clear out any weeds, bring in new mulch if needed. A couple years ago, I think we even rebuilt some of the flower beds just because they were starting to get a little run down. And we've done that every year for as long as I can remember, even before I joined that club. Some of the community service projects for that are countywide, there's just so many of them. But some of the ones that I have done is I went to the Catfish Festival and just kind of promoted 4-H and just kind of showed everybody, handed out like pamphlets and stuff, just kind of showed everybody what exactly 4-H is and all the different projects in it, which include livestock and non-livestock. And I think lots of people were just kind of blown away on how diverse 4-H is. Another thing is Kids Fest, which is a just kind of another event that happens in Conroe, where it's just a little get-together for all kids and families. But we also did another booth there just promoting 4-H. There are just so many different opportunities to do community service in your county and even in your district. So, yeah.
And Sierra, what are your community service activities?
Well, we do a lot of community service projects in our club, and one that we did last year, and we're hoping to just grow for not only our club but for our community, is just bringing in food and for canned foods for the women's shelter in Willis, and we're hoping to expand that this year and just make it to where not only 4-H members but just everyone can just help out around the community. And as I told y'all about Project Linus, that is my main one this year, so we're hoping to, it's not only me, it's my just district and everyone else who wants to help and just come in and help that people that need something. And I also do a lot of speeches at my school with FFA, just not only talking about FFA, just going in my FFA class and just going out at lunch and being able to speak at the microphone and tell people what 4-H is and how many projects there are, not only just for livestock, but other projects that you can do, such as what I do with the cooking challenge, and just make it bigger.
And Abby, what kind of community service projects do you do?
Well, I do a lot. I collect flip-flops for the women's shelter, give coats for needy people, and this year we got little toiletry bags with toothbrushes, toothpaste, deodorant, and all that kind of stuff, and we handed them out to needy people with a church that would feed them on Sundays. And I think one of my favorite things that we did this year was we made pillowcases for the kids at the Ronald McDonald's house. All of my club, we got a bunch of fabric, and one day we just went and sewed them together, and we got to hand them out, and it was great. I love seeing the look on the little kids' faces when they got a Mickey Mouse pillowcase.
So a lot of people associate the concept of community service with a mandatory kind of thing. Someone, for some reason, you have to go out and do this. Why did y'all volunteer to do community service? What have you gotten out of the projects that you've done?
For me, I think that it opens up your eyes a little bit to see what other people are going through, and you shouldn't be so harsh. And I just love seeing the look on people's faces. It makes me feel happy that I'm making someone else happy about their lives, and I don't really feel like it's a chore. I feel like I could do this every day. I love volunteering for everything.
Well, that sounds wonderful. Sierra, Gabby, have y'all got?
Yes, one of the other community service activities that I forgot to mention was actually one of my main ones, and I call it the Head to Toe Drive. And what it is a countywide event where 4-H clubs and anybody else who wants to participate donates warm clothing items such as hats, scarves, gloves, socks, anything that could help keep someone warm in the winter. And we are donating them with partnership to the Connor House of Prayer, and just handing them out in a park one afternoon. And it's just fantastic. It's like one of those feelings that you get where it's like, it just kind of humbles you, because I know that, at least for me, I take a lot of things for granted, and just seeing these people just get so excited about just a pair of socks or something is just very humbling. So when you see just community service is just a crazy experience to just take something that you take for granted and just kind of help someone else with that. It just kind of gives you just this feeling of this is fantastic feeling. I also could just do it every day. It's just so much fun to just go out and just talk with these people, because I just heard some fantastic stories just talking with some people that I've met that it's just, I will never forget.
Sarah?
I don't really feel like I'm forced to do it, but just the feeling that you get, like both of the others said, just seeing people's face light up and knowing that you're going out every day and having the privilege of doing way more, and you're just not even realizing how blessed you are. And then seeing other people that don't have as much or barely have it all, and just the little bit of things that you give to them just comes back so much more. So I feel like the feeling that you get when you give other people just comes back to you way more than just what you've learned, and that you know that you're so blessed.
Wonderful thoughts, ladies. Thank you very much. Now, a part of what we do in the 4-H program is you've gone through and you've learned new skills and new activities, but having to turn around and share that with somebody else's leadership. So what kinds of leadership things have you done in the 4-H program? Abby, you want to start?
Most leadership things that I do is showing people like the right way to show an animal or the right things to do. But I show my cousins a lot. I take my cousins out to my barn and I let them walk my pigs because they get so excited over it and they love being around the animals. And I let them help me with my chickens, and they're actually going to start 4-H this year. So I'm excited to have shown people what's so great about 4-H. And the other little kids in my group also, I get to help them see what's so great about it,
And promotion and recruitment's leadership too. You were telling us earlier about promoting the 4-H program and recruiting new members.
Yes, most of the people at my school in my FFA have chosen to go into my 4-H also. So I'm excited to have all those new friends and the familiar faces and have my club grow even more. Because I think that FFA and 4-H both correspond with each other, and having them both in your lives can make it so much easier to grow out of your shell or, actually have conversations with people and not be scared.
All right. Sierra, have you got some leadership you want to share with us?
I do. So I went to Livestock Ambassador Camp for Texas this week, and we learned a lot about leadership. And it's not that we didn't already know, it's just different point of views from people that have went through their life knowing that the difference between leadership and just telling other people what to do. I think leadership is sometimes learning how to just see other people going in front of you and learning from them, and then being able to take what you've learned from other people and put it to use on younger generations, and just knowing that whatever you've learned you can teach other people, even though that they might know that they know more than you, or there's always going to be something that other people will know more. But just the things that you've learned need to be put to use, just like for promotional 4-H. We went to Kroger and we talked to a lot of children about just getting involved and knowing what their agriculture and next generation is going to have for them and have in store for them. So we got a lot of people involved in 4-H, although that they seemed like urban area people. We know that there's so many opportunities out there for 4-H members to come back to.
And Gabby, what about your leadership experiences?
Well, like I said earlier, I'm on several leadership positions in the county, but another thing that the girls have mentioned is promotional leadership. And one of the cool things about promotional leadership is not like having to go and do it in like big groups or big events, just even talking to one of your close friends or a family member, like Abigail said, that you can just like promote it and just tell them like what an amazing program 4-H is. I know that 4-H has like changed my life in such an amazing way. It just like any aspect of 4-H you can put to use once you get out of high school. It really just teaches you some fantastic things. So getting to share that with people and telling them that like they're missing out if they're not part of 4-H is just fantastic.
All right. So we've talked about how long you've been in 4-H. So far in your 4-H career, what is the most memorable experience you've had to this point?
One of the most memorable experiences I have had in 4-H is my head-to-toe drive, like I mentioned earlier. And another thing is, which I think we'll be talking about later, is one of the awards that we give out which is the Danforth I Dare You Award, which is a community service award. And I was fortunate enough to have been chosen to win that last year. And it is just fantastic to just know that, like, all that hard work and also just those fun times that I got out of serving my community and helping some people out, there's, like, a way for you to get rewarded for that.
I have two most memorable parts in my 4-H career. And one was going to Iowa State for the World Pork Expo and being able to place top 10 showmanship for intermediate or junior showmanship, and just being able to know that all that work that you've put out in the barn and just knowing that you've just put a lot on the line for your reputation at the livestock industry and your face out there, just great letting other people know that you've worked hard for your position. And also the agriculture award that I got with 4-H last year. And it was just great that knowing it wasn't only that I went out there and was having to learn that just for that award. It was that I didn't even notice that I had to learn it just to have fun, and I just didn't even know that I was learning so much because I feel like they just made it family.
I also have two, and one of them is at Houston this year. I showed chickens, and one of them almost died in the ring. Like, it was dying. And my sister got on the ground and tried to do CPR to my chicken. And I thought it was the funniest thing. I will never forget it because she was trying so hard, because the year before she was holding my biggest cockerel at state and it died while she was holding it. So she tried her hardest to keep this chicken alive at Houston after he placed us. And he already set us up, so I already have 7th place, but I will never forget that because it's so funny.
All right, we'll go into a commercial break, and when we get back, we'll finish that conversation and move on to the next.
You are listening to the Extension Hour with Texas A&M AgriLife. Visit us online at montgomery.agrilife.org.
I'm Lieutenant Bob Berry with the Conroe Police Department, reminding you that drinking and driving do not mix. Drinking and driving causes an alcohol-related fatality every hour in the United States. Stay sober and stay alive.
Doing business since 1985, Assistance League of Montgomery County is a nonprofit, all-volunteer organization where all proceeds stay in Montgomery County. We are proud to sponsor 10 philanthropic programs that enhance the lives of those in our community. Visit our thrift shop at 126 North San Jacinto Street in downtown Conroe, or call us at 936-760-1151. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
The Conroe YMCA's benchmark adaptive programming for kids and adults is Leap of Faith. Leap of Faith is an equine-assisted therapy program serving children and adults with adaptive needs. The riders in our Leap of Faith program are working to address and manage specific aspects of their lives impacted by illness, injury, or disability. The Leap of Faith program has experience working with riders who are living with attention deficit or other hyperactivity disorders, hearing impairments, visual impairments, developmental delays or disabilities, autism, Down syndrome, multiple sclerosis, muscular dystrophy, head traumas, brain injuries, and paralysis. Our program uses horseback riding to develop self-confidence and self-esteem, to increase upper and lower body strength, assist in respiratory issues, and establish a trusting relationship between the rider and their horse. Not only do these activities aid in the physical and mental development of the rider, but they also foster self-reliance and independence. For more information regarding our program, to become a rider, or to volunteer with a great group of people, please call our Welcome Center at 936-441-9622 or visit our website at www.ymcahouston.org www.lcm.org/Conroe.
You're listening to the Extension Hour on Lone Star Internet Radio every Friday afternoon at 1 p.m.
Welcome back to the Extension Hour. I'm Michelle Mihalek, and I'm the County Extension Agent for the 4-H program here in Montgomery County. And with us today, we have Gabby Pena and Sierra Reynolds and Abigail LeBlanc that are joining us with the 4-H program to let us know what their experiences have been. And as we went into the commercial break, Abby was fixing to tell us her second most memorable experience in the 4-H program.
My second most oh my gosh, I can't even say it. Memorable time was I made grand champion pullets at Austin this year. And it's the first time I've made grand champion, and I was so excited because I finally got a belt buckle. Belt buckles have been my goals for forever with my pigs at progress shows, and I finally got one with my chickens, and I was so excited. But as I said before, I never get my hopes up with chickens because you don't know how you place, and I was second in line when he said that I was grand champion, and I was so excited I almost started crying.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for sharing that with us. So we've talked a little bit about leadership and community service, and we've talked about what our most memorable experiences are in 4-H. So all of y'all are senior 4-Hers. You're 9th through 12th grade, and at this point in life, lots of times older 4-H members will leave 4-H as they get into high school. Why have you continued your 4-H experience? Abby, you want to start?
I've stayed in 4-H because I love being around everybody. I love showing animals. I love doing community service. I just love the whole program. I mean, I can't see my life without it. I'm really scared to graduate and not be around all my friends anymore, and it's going to be a really sad time. It's been a huge part. It takes up a lot of my time, but I'm okay with that because it's so much fun.
Sierra?
I don't really know a life without 4-H because I started when I was 3.5, and just seeing my generation now and how other people like interact throughout 4-H and just their social skills and the friendships that they make. That I know both of these two girls I met last year at Leadership Lab, and they just welcomed me, and I just felt so just part of their family already. And I know like the experiences that I've had throughout 4-H are just going to help me so much in life, and I can't imagine life without 4-H or the friends.
Wow, y'all just like stole the words right out of my mouth. Like they were saying, like 4-H is just such an amazing part of my life. I joke around a lot and say like 4-H is my life because I just love it so much, and I try and dedicate as much of my time to it as possible. Like Abby was saying, it's just such an amazing part. And I'm going to be so sad when I graduate, and I will still try and stick up at the extension office just to try and hang out and still be a part of it. But it's just so amazing. 4-H has just opened up so many opportunities for me and really just helped me, I guess, find a passion for something, which is leadership. I just love like everything about the leadership aspects of 4-H and just how many avenues there are to it. There really is just something for everyone in 4-H. So whether you like photography or you like showing chickens or pigs or goats or whatever, like there's just something for everyone. And I think that that's just something that has definitely, changed my life and just helped me figure out just my passion.
I think all of you have said family. You feel like 4-H has become an extended family. You're afraid it's going to end. You don't want it to end. I can tell you that's a part of why I'm doing the job that I do. I didn't want it to end. I get paid to be a 4-Her today. It's really kind of fun. And the family part of it, yes, you have built lifelong relationships. And I would imagine when you get to college, you're going to discover that you'll start running into people and you'll mention it, and all of a sudden you'll have a whole new cluster of friends. If they aren't people that you've met already as a 4-H member that you're going to run into again in college and already have a family there, then it'll be a whole new conversation for you when you get there. So yes, it is a great big family. It's not just within the county, but it is a nationwide family. We've talked today a number of times about 4-H clubs. So our 4-H clubs, each one of your clubs is a community club that is based on the geographic location of where the people in that area live, and they come to one location close to them and gather and have a club meeting. We also have a countywide program, a countywide 4-H program, so Montgomery County 4-H and County Council. We're also a part of a district program. There are 18 counties in District 9, and Montgomery County is one of those 18. Every county in the state, all 254, have 4-H programs in them. And all 50 states have 4-H programs. And there's 36 different countries. So yes, it's family. It's a big family. So what do you think that you have gained or enhanced any personal characteristics by being in 4-H? And tell us what those are. Gabby, you want to start?
Sure. One of the things that I definitely wasn't as comfortable with when I started 4-H was public speaking. I do talk a lot just in general, but when I get up in front of a big crowd, I'm like, oh no, I don't know what I'm going to say. It's not going to make any sense. But just, family and friends and stuff, they really do encourage you to just get up there and just give it your best. And so one of the things that just has helped me through my leadership project is just getting up there, and even just something small like saying our 4-H pledge or reading roll call at a meeting, it still is just helping to just grow my confidence in speaking in front of people. And I do have to say, I think I've grown a lot since I started. I'm not perfect, but I do think I have grown a lot in that. So yeah, that's mine.
Sierra?
I've pretty much based my whole entire life off of 4-H, and I've built myself and my character that everyone around me has definitely helped me and encouraged me to just come out of my shell. And I remember the first time I met Gabby. She definitely made me come out of my shell, and we just had the best time. And just the fact that there's so much to do in 4-H, and there's so many people you're going to meet, you just have to let loose and just learn things and be able to just go out and just do anything that you're given a chance to. And I definitely feel like the most important thing that I've learned is responsibility throughout my activities and projects that I have, and I don't think there's another way to learn it as much as we have.
Abby?
I was very shy. I mean, I didn't really like talking to people, but now I'm fine with it. Like, I'm not scared or nervous about it, and 4-H has helped me out a lot with that because, you have to talk to people, so that's always fun. And as Sierra said, responsibility, having to go and make sure that your animals are okay, that everything is planned, and make sure that they have feed and water, like necessities, and they're on this type of feed, they need this type of supplement these days of the week. I mean, it's a lot, and you have to have responsibility to have an animal, to be a part and make sure that it looks good. And also, another part is time management. Mm-hmm. I love to plan things. I am not a very go with the flow kind of person when things are not planned. I have to have times, and I know that I'm going to wake up at this time, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and it's going to take me this long to do it. I have to have that, or else my whole day is going to be messed up.
That's an excellent thought, Abby. Do all three of you have calendars? You keep a calendar?
Definitely.
And you know?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, everything doesn't always go as planned. I mean, there's always going to be a bump in the road, but as far as that, I mean, there's always a schedule that your 4-H extension agent, like you, like helps us plan everything, and it makes everything way easier on us and stress level go down.
So how many of your peers in classes have calendars where they keep up with things months in ahead?
I mean, as I do record book, I mean, you have to like plan everything, and you're gonna have to like tell everyone what you've learned, and you're gonna have to express like what you did. And as far as our classmates, I don't think anyone keeps as much record keeping as we do. So,
So nobody you know keeps a calendar, or none of your outside of 4-H friends keep a calendar?
No, me and my mom the other day, we were sitting down and we went through a calendar for the whole year. We get chickens this time for this show, pigs this time for this show, and our chicken calendars for each show. We have to spread wing bands at this time, this day, like everything. You have to like meticulously plan everything.
I would say that not a whole lot of my friends have calendars, or at least keep up with them regularly as much as we do, just because of our record book project. But I do think that a lot of them do, but just don't write down as much. Or if something were to just come up out of the blue, I don't think that they would write it down just because it's not as important to them as it would be for us. But I would say that a couple of my friends have them, or at least keep up with them.
But friends that are 4-Hers also?
Yes.
I can tell you that I was a grown-up before I realized that not everybody had a calendar that went all 12 months. From the 4-H program, that was one of the skills that we had. That's one of the things we had to keep up with. So as we move into commercial break, we'll come right back with the Extension Hour.
You are listening to the Extension Hour on irlonestar.com.
The East Texas Dream Center is in need of your help. We are a nonprofit Christian organization that houses women and children who are trying to get their lives back after being homeless, abused, or addicted. We are conveniently located at 301 South 1st Street, Conroe, Texas, 77301, right here in Montgomery County. Our needs are financial, and every needs of gasoline, cleaning supplies, laundry soap, Lysol, and whatever else God puts in your heart. To help our ladies and children, please consider a donation. You may visit our website at www.easttexasdreamcenter.org. Again, so you don't forget, it's www.easttexasdreamcenter.org. Donations are tax deductible. Remember what Jesus said, with God, nothing is impossible.
Doing business since 1985, Assistance League of Montgomery County is a nonprofit, all-volunteer organization where all proceeds stay in Montgomery County. Through our Operation School Bell program, we have provided new clothes to over 50,000 students in our county. Visit our thrift shop at 126 North San Jacinto Street in downtown Conroe, or call us at 936-760-1151. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Hi, I'm Mike Sasser, your host of the Health Hour right here on Lone Star Community Radio. I'd like to invite you to tune in to my live show each Wednesday starting at 1 p.m. I like to say it's an hour of health news you can use. Be a part of the conversation by going to MikeSasser.com and clicking on Contact Mike for my email, Facebook, and Twitter links. The Health Hour with Mike Sasser every Wednesday at 1 p.m. on Lone Star Community Radio, your local source for healthy living.
Are you interested in learning more about preparing quick, healthy, and safe meals for your family? Would you like to spend time with others learning tips and tricks, along with practicing and tasting nutritious food? If so, the On the Road to Healthy Living Mobile Cooking School is for you. Call Amy Ressler at Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service at 936-539-7825 to find a class near you or volunteer to host a class.
You're listening to the Extension Hour with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. Visit us online at montgomery.agrilife.org.
Welcome back to the Extension Hour. I'm Michelle Mihalek. I'm the County Extension Agent for the 4-H program in Montgomery County. And today we have 4-H'ers with us, Gabby Pena, Sierra Reynolds, and Abigail LeBlanc. And as we were going into the commercial break, we were just discussing calendars and what our calendars look like. And so I'm going to let the ladies tell you what today looked like for them and how they decided what they were going to do today. Abby, I'll let you start.
Well, I decided that I had to wake up at 8, so then I could leave my house at 8:30. So that gave me 30 minutes to get to my barn at 9, walk for 30 minutes, leave at 9:30, get home at 10, and then have an hour and a half to get ready to come here and talk on this radio show and be here at 12:15, and then I get to leave and then go to work until midnight.
Oh my goodness. And it's summer. Sierra.
Well, I woke up really early this morning. I was like walking around the house for a little while and trying to procrastinate, but it doesn't really work that much when you have livestock. So I went out to the barn and I checked all of my pigs, which right now I have, I think, 14, and we have a sow. She's due in August 15th, and we had to check her and make sure she didn't have a milk line yet, so they weren't born premature. And then I have the rest are going to show in summer shows, and so I had to feed all of them and make sure they were all good on water and their pens were clean. And then I had to go up to the house, fill out my calendar of how my pigs were doing, how they were acting, and that their weights were good. And then I got ready to come here, and after this I am going to work at another extension office, so my day's pretty full.
Now, Sierra, you said early. To you, what's early?
6 o'clock is early to me.
So you had to get up at 6 o'clock this morning?
Yes.
And it's summer break, so you don't have to go to school.
Oh, no, but pigs come with very early mornings and very late nights, and it's definitely worth it at the end.
All right, Gabby, what did your day look like today?
Well, today I did not wake up in Montgomery County. I woke up in Lake Livingston at a church camp. So I got back this morning and found out I was going to be here speaking on a radio show. So I got back to the church. My mom came and picked me up at around 10:30. I got back to the house at around 11. I had a couple minutes to just kind of gather myself and then get ready and then hop back in the car and come on up here. And so I'll probably be resting the rest of the day, not going to lie.
Well, ladies, as we have wrapped up, all of y'all have done your 4-H record books. We have wrapped up the 2015-2016 4-H year. So the exciting part of starting a new year is coming up. On August the 15th is when 4-H Connect opens for us to re-enroll for 2016-2017. So as we wrap up here today, do you want to tell us why do you think people should join 4-H? Gabby, you want to start?
For sure. Well, 4-H not only is just it's an amazing program in general, but one of the things that the reasons I joined 4-H is I moved to Conroe and not knowing a single person here, and so we heard about 4-H, and I initially joined it just to make some connections here so I could have some friends and a friend group up here, and it eventually just grew. And like I said earlier, you can just find so many you can just find your passion here in 4-H. Whether you're into cooking or you're artsy and you like to paint things or take pictures or make a cake or show an animal, there's just so many different things, so many different avenues that you can take in 4-H.
Sarah, why do you think they ought to be a 4-H member?
there's no limit to 4-H. Everything's an open book, and everyone around you is willing to help you. And for 4-H, there's just nothing's too much. There's always going to be someone you can have a handout to and be like, will you help me? And they're always willing to help. Like you and the extension agents are always willing to be there, and the programs outside of 4-H might help you, but from what you learn in 4-H, there's so many opportunities and open doors that you can get. Just like me, I want to extend my agricultural thing and be a veterinarian or a agricultural law enforcement. So,
oh my goodness, you already know what you want to do when you grow up.
I do. It inspired me.
Maybe I'll figure that out sometime shortly. Abby, why do you think they ought to be 4-H members?
I think that 4-H makes you grow as a person and makes you learn responsibility, and you always have that 4-H family, like we said before, and I think it's good to make more friends, and 4-H is just amazing. I don't know where I would be without it today.
Is it a safe place?
It's like your home.
Yes.
The family around you and the friends that you've made, like, they're your shelter. Like, you can go to them, and just there's nothing better than knowing that there's going to be a 4-H, like, someone that you can talk to about your livestock or even your other projects that you do, and there's always going to be someone that does the same thing you do that you can talk to.
So I know Gabby was talking earlier about public speaking and how scary that was. We all know that we're going to have to learn how to do that someday, and this has been a safe place for her to learn how to do that. We'd like to thank you for joining us today on the Extension Hour and talking about the 4-H program. I'd like to thank Gabby Pena and Sierra Reynolds and Abby LeBlanc for sharing their experiences with us. And the 4-H Focus will be back on August the 5th, but please join us next week for the next Extension Hour.